Everybody. Herman, how are you doing today?
Doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, and we just want to connect with everybody and see how you're doing. And this is called Care to Share. We want to just check in and make sure that you're good. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to have some fun, and we'll get started in about 30 seconds. Sound good, Herman?
Sounds good.
And we're back after the short 30-second intermission. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing this year? Let us know in the comments. This is going to be a super interactive live. Herman and I just wanted to come on and check in on everybody, see how everybody is doing. We're going to answer some questions as well. So I encourage you that if you have a question, if you have a comment, if you want to share something, this is the space, this is the place to do it. And we just want to help add some value to your life. That sounds good. Leave a comment and let us know. And please ask any questions. We have Betty saying that the year up and down, but blessed. Absolutely. And I think maybe many people can relate to you. Herman, you always say like there's good and bad in everything, right?
Well, of course, and you know that. A lot of people should know that, but they don't want to face the truth of that. And I think the sooner we get to that truth and realize like there was always going to be ups and downs, and that's why you call it life. We just want to ensure that, you're good. That's why we're doing this. That's what's called Care to Share, because we really actually care. I mean, a lot of people I've seen, they don't actually care. And people are starting to lose their care. It's almost like they're going through care fatigue, if you will. And we just want to make sure, like, if you're one of those, I mean, come on, let us know and allow us to care for you. That's why we do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that when you said a lot of people have like the care fatigue, I think that could even show up in their life for themselves. Do you ever find that people stop caring about themselves, or they just kind of let themselves be in a funk, and maybe some challenging things happened and you just kind of, shut down a little bit, and then you don't want to eat. You don't feel like cooking yourself something healthy. You don't feel like taking care, So, I mean, I've been there before, but all you need sometimes is some positive words, some positive people, and a little bit of help from someone that cares about you. So we have our fan from Norway, Herman.
Oh, okay.
And this is the same fan that was on the previous live.
How do we pronounce this name? Is it Uni?
Yeah, please let us know. Give us like a pronunciation in the comments. Because like we gotta show some love to our fan from Norway. Right? They're on the last live. They deserve some love.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the pronunciation.
Okay, so there we got it right.
Uni says yes. Perfect. There you go, Herman.
So, I mean, I'm getting better at my hockey speak because a lot of people from Sweden, Norway, and whatnot play hockey.
Exactly.
Okay, so please, if you got questions, if you want to share, I mean, if you care to share, that's why we're doing this. Ask questions. We want to help. Let us help you. We don't always do this, but we want to give back. We really want to help. Don't be shy with us.
Exactly. So if somebody's like going through a challenge right now based on all the stuff that's happening in the world, there's a lot of noise. So what would you say to somebody that feels like, they can't seem to get away from all of the news that's going on?
Do you know where news comes from? Does anyone know where news comes from?
Type in the comments. Let's see.
Let's see if anyone knows. There may be a small delay, but that's okay. Like, I want to hear from everybody. Where do you feel news comes from?
This will be an interesting one. And you know, you can share any answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I have noise. All the news is fake anyway. People repeating things until it grows. The one world order conspiracy. Generated from people who are bored. Whoever owns the companies.
Well, think of it this way. Anytime you hear the word so-called media, that's things that messes with that. It creates like a muddle. It creates where you don't have the same metal, and that's not the metal that you go bang or that you build a house with or a building with. When you think about it, it is very select few who control media to then get in front of your face as marketing. One thing I would recommend is, first off, shut it off. Second off, only focus on facts, such as, okay, yes, I know over there the tree is burning. Yes, I know over there everybody over there has no power. Yes, I know this had happened. And then you have to move on. Do you stand in traffic or when you're in your car and count every single blade of grass that you drove by? Do you count every single line that's broken? Do you count every single speck of a shiny part on the asphalt? Do you count every single drop of sun that's coming down from the sky, or you count every single cloud that's in the sky when you're driving? Or what do you do?
No, you're more focused on the road and getting to your destination safely.
So then why do you allow, say, the cloud is the news because your head's in the cloud? Let's say that the grass is all the things because you focus what other people have, so you have to go see because you think their grass is greener. Let's say you count the lines because you look at all the ways that you want to cheat in the line, versus it's a solid line. It's telling you not to cross it. You cross it, it's going to be a very expensive ticket, right? What are you doing to stay within your lane, to stay within your focus, to stay within your safety, to get in that destination, to get to that journey?
Mm-hmm.
You see, for me, news is something that is not in my vocabulary. Because if it was in my vocabulary, then we would not be having this discussion. You should be focused on being new, inventing new you, inventing new ways for you to overcome, inventing new ways for you to be a better person every day, study something new every day, learn something new every day, without the dependency on something that's going to be controlling, without the dependency of falling under traps. And so for all of you, when you're listening, maybe we turn off constantly negative news, or CNN as you call it, right? Maybe we turn off Fox News as sly as a fox. Maybe we turn all that nonsense off. And how about we just constantly focus on us and how best we can grow us and value us and bring value to the world, bring value to those we care about and love. And how about we get to the destination together?
That sounds like a much more productive plan.
Right? I don't even have any TV service in my house on anything, or never. I don't need that type of programming, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that. Everybody thinks they're watching the show, but it's actually they're watching the ad, and the show is the market, and the show is the ad.
Mm-hmm.
That's why product placement, right? So this cell phone here, this earphone here, this car there, That's the real ad. And then where do you have the ad that you watch that you think that you want to avoid? I mean, those are the things that you're actually buying anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You need this detergent, you need this snack, you need that thing. And then that's where you think, well, I love this, I love that. Where did you see it though, to know to love it or to know to go buy it?
Exactly.
Trap.
The seed was planted somewhere, and then it's like you see it over and over and over again. Like, do you guys ever, you can literally recall like certain commercials or certain ads or certain companies, like how they have like a certain sound? It's literally just repetitive, keeps programming so deeply.
What's the most expensive TV ad you can buy, Angelo?
Super Bowl.
And what does everybody praise when they watch on that Sunday? Not necessarily the game. What do they all watch during intermission?
The commercials.
I believe it's 1.5 M for 30 seconds or more, like give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because everybody watching that, the programming. And they got the distraction of the game. And they got the distraction of the halftime show. So that they could go program. And so we have to stop falling for traps.
Absolutely. I mean, does that open up your eyes a little bit more? Does that help understand the news? And I think that there's just other things that you can always give yourself to. You can always give more time or effort to. And maybe that's something a little bit more productive. Like Herman said, maybe that's learning something new. Maybe that's watching something a little bit more productive or doing something a little healthier. Right? I mean, one of the most common things that people say is that they don't have enough time. But if you only knew how much time per day that you were spent on the distractions or on things that were unnecessary, then I feel like you would find the time to have an abundance of it. Because for me, like...
Okay, but Angelo, let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
You say that nobody knows their time and how much they're wasting, but I'm going to ask everybody this question. I'm going to ask you this question, okay, Angelo? Do you know when it's your final time? Does anybody here know when this exact day, this exact hour, this exact month, this exact year, that this is it for me?
Please share your answers in the comments. I'm going to say that I don't know that.
Why don't you know that? Why not?
I don't know.
Why not? Why don't you know?
Because there's, so many possibilities, so many different things that could...
But those possibilities that are not in your favor, that you do too much of, can shorten, limit, or cause a detriment to that time. So the reason why I'm asking this question is because we want you to punch in the GPS that says, okay, I really want to go to higher consciousness. I want to go to here. I want to go there. This is where I want to be, and this is where I want to go. But what if you don't know when that time is? If most people don't know, then how do you know to punch it in to say, I want to arrive at this time. I want to arrive here. Let's plan for that. But you see, because life works that way, that you don't know for most people, when is the exact hour, the second, the day, the year. Like most people don't know that. So why do we go around like acting like we do know that? Wasting time on this phone, wasting time on this app, wasting time on this show, wasting time doing this, wasting time gossip, wasting time doing that. But you don't even know this. So then what time do you have to waste if you don't even know this? And all the time you're doing all those other things is chewing up all that time and bandwidth that could be used towards this, to making sure that this has a safe destination.
Mm-hmm. I completely understand.
So don't complain about things when life shows you or reminds you of things that you have taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
You must learn to appreciate everything.
Yeah, and I think this comes down to like a lot of the false programming. all of the lies, all of the things that we've been fed, our entire life. And it's led us to have certain behaviors, certain patterns. And by all means, this is not an excuse or anything like that. It's just, maybe that's why not everybody really appreciates every single second that they have. Maybe they, the programming made them feel so lost that they don't have like that clear purpose or focus to get to the destination. They don't even know what destination they want to get to. And for me, back in the day, like I had a destination I wanted to get to, but it wasn't necessarily the proper one or the right one or the one that is truly something that I would now look back on and say, yeah, I was on the right path, because I definitely wasn't. And I just find that, for those that aren't on the right path, like it's an opportunity for us to always give them like a helping hand to get on a better path.
I agree. And for everybody that's watching this, are you going to count every second and make sure every second counts? You're going to make sure that you're going to convert every second into something more productive. You're going to convert all that energy into something more valuable. Are you going to convert that to master real mastery?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I want to shout a few people out. So Kim, welcome. Love to you all from UK. Welcome. We appreciate you. And then there was another one in here. Robin says, I'm going to refer my niece to your videos. What you talk about is very true. You're a godsend. So thank you for referring your niece to the videos. There's a ton of great videos. I know you're on Facebook. There's great videos on YouTube as well. So please enjoy, because we post for the benefit of you, so that you can learn something new, you can benefit, you can grow, you can open up your mind and perspective in a new way. There's a couple of other questions. So we want to take the time to answer some of your questions and provide you some care and some value. And for those that, are going to be with us tomorrow on the masterclass, we're going to be going in depth on the new year and how to position yourself. We're going to be covering astrology, Chinese astrology, and how to use that to really know like what to look out for and how to best position yourself. So if you would like to join, I'm going to post a link that just has the details, and just check it out for yourself, because we would love to have you there. And we'll continue to go through some of these questions. So if you do have any, just post them. So I'm just scrolling through the comments to find the next question. So this is a question. Kirsty says, do you have a tip to navigate through all of that noise from the world, but also situations around you, how to balance it out?
So noise, I view it and I perceive it as more of interference. It's like, okay, so let's say you're in your car, there's a radio station on, but you drive by maybe an older car, or you drive by one of those, what do you call, towers, right? Or you drive by something that maybe it's really far away from where this signal station is. And so you keep playing, you want to hear it, but there's all these other things that are interfering with it. Or say you're in the car and people are having a conversation that's so loud, you couldn't hear what you were wanting to hear from what the announcer was saying, right? They were going to tell you how to win something or how to get something or where to be at this hour to join this, but you couldn't hear it all because the kids maybe were screaming or the people were too loud in the car. It's interference. So one thing is you have to look to identify what interferes with you and your ability to go from where you are to where you want to be safely, right? Then you look for distractions of, well, how many distractions do you have in a day? How productive are you with that every second of your day? Like, are you lost in distractions? Are you lost in interference? Because it's usually one or a combination of both. And if that is the case, then that's when you have to learn discipline. And that's something that we are going to share tomorrow. That's something we share on our inner circle. That's something that we share on calls is that, because if you don't have that number one tool, it will make all the other things more difficult, and the noise will get in that much easier and faster. And sometimes it doesn't get out.
So let's talk about discipline just for a second. Where does discipline start for everybody? What's the first way that you apply discipline every day?
For me or for you?
I'm asking everybody here. I want to see what everybody has to say, because I want to share something that, you know, for me, I've been implementing and it's been really helping. So basically, Herman brought up the inner circle. So this is our awesome community and group coaching program. And so for me, I found that, you know what, I've been very disciplined at hitting snooze when the alarm goes off. So I was like, no, I can't do that, right? I got to own the morning. Herman has given me so many meditations, so many Qigong exercises, so much stuff to really have like such a peaceful and productive morning that like I need the time to apply these things. So I was like, all right, I see other people in the IC need that as well. Sean was like, you know, I'm not waking up on my alarm. So I was like, let's go, no snooze squad. So basically we just post every morning and share like, you know, either a check or an X, you know, did we get up? Did we hit the snooze or no? So I think that's discipline. Where it starts for me every day is like, am I getting up on time? Am I getting up on the time that I set out the night before that I said I was going to get up?
But in order to do so, Angelo, you had to prepare the night before. You can't be disciplined every day, wake up, say 7 or whatever the hour is, but then go to bed at 4 because, you know, you just wanted to stay up and play video games or hang out with people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Got to start earlier. So you got to make sure that the rest is proper, the preparation is ready, so that when you want to demand things of this body, that your body can follow through. But if you don't, then the trust is going to be broken. And then that's where the procrastination comes in, because you keep disappointing. There's no trust here anymore. And that's where a lot of people get lost.
Mm-hmm. And if you're at that moment right now, where you're at that point where maybe you don't have that trust, you have to start. You have to start with something, and you have to just say, you know what, I just watched this live. I got off this live with Herman and Angelo, and this is what I'm going to do. Like I'm committed. And it doesn't matter what that really is, but I think it's about building that trust again.
Yeah. And it just starts with, like how you said, just an alarm. I mean, one little noise is supposed to make sure that you get up on time that you set, but you ignore, you snooze. How are you going to trust yourself when it's urgent that you say, okay, I'm going to set it because I got to go catch this, or I have this meeting, and then what happens?
Exactly. So some other people, they apply discipline. Let's see. Christine says choosing healthy foods. Wesley says resisting temptation. Robin says first thing in the morning when I pray. So that's great. I was just curious how everybody is applying that into their life. Nirvana says daily nutrition and physical health, care for self and others. Awesome. Was there anything else you wanted to add on that, Herman? Because I see that everybody is just loving to share right now, which is wonderful. So I know that we have some more questions.
Keep sharing. That's what we're doing this for. But I mean, for you, Angelo, I think that's a great step in the right direction. And for everybody, I mean, maybe you start with where he's starting, right? Where maybe it's the alarm, maybe it's just that one little thing, maybe it's putting the phone away so that you don't get distracted and go down for 2 hours and then forget what you were going to do all day, right? So whatever that is for you, just learn to be better prepared so that you don't just keep setting yourself up to keep repeating the same mistakes.
Exactly. So the next question is from Pocket Thoughts on YouTube. I had questions about the restrictions the governments around the world are putting on us. Will our freedoms be taken from us, and what does the future hold for us in that regard?
Your freedoms are taken from you every single day. I'll give another example. Not just the government's taking it, but So Angelo said that maybe he's not waking up. Okay, so you say, how is that a freedom? He had the freedom and the choice to wake up at this time, but he chose to hit snooze and go back to bed for another however long. Okay, so then he's not free because now he's still stuck in one spot. Stuck here because he can't get out of it. Stuck here because there's no trust. So what happens? Stuck. And so to answer that, freedoms are lost every single day in things that we do. And then when so-called governments or whatever that you want to call it, or heads of authority gives or says certain things, if we don't even have the discipline to do things that are for our benefit, for those we care about, to ensure that we are in the best position to succeed, then how are we going to survive when certain things outside of us are changing, or certain things outside of us, parameters and protocols are different? So that's why, and I don't get into this topic because I can go on for this forever, but that's not the purpose of this live. What it is, this purpose of this live is to really show to care. And one of the best things we can do to care for ourselves is to be best prepared. So another thing that Angelo had to do that most of you don't know, in order for him to be sitting on this seat and this live with me, Angelo, for how long did you have to prove yourself to me?
Well, I mean, I've known you for 4.5 years. So I think every single day, like, I'm striving to be better so that I can really help you in any way possible. But in particular, like, there was a period of time where it was, I believe, 90 days, where basically Herman challenged me to do a random act of kindness. And I had to email him every night what it was that I did.
And it couldn't be forced.
No, it couldn't be forced. It had to be something just genuine.
But what did that do for you for those 90 days? Maybe share.
It held me accountable. It made me look for new ways to bring value to people and to help people. It made me not necessarily always focus on myself and think about, oh, me, or I. I was more so looking at, how can I bring some value or share some care to others that needed it. So it made me just approach my days a lot differently than I was before.
So here's the problem. Anytime the word discipline is used, those who are uninitiated and uneducated and not mature enough will think that that is when they lose their freedom, by having discipline. But you are actually losing your freedom when there's no discipline to eat healthy, because then what's happening? Then you can't walk when you get injured, or you can't go do things when you hit 50, because now your body's all seized up and you have like an 80-year-old body, but you're only 50. So that freedom's gone. Let's say because of things that you choose to do and how you choose to act, then maybe you go and wrong people, and then they did wrong by you, and then all of a sudden, what? Incarceration. Another freedom's gone. Let's say you go and watch TV and you think, oh, I gotta watch this, gotta watch this, gotta watch that, gotta be stuck. I gotta learn how to repeat this quote from that movie. Remember this quote from that. And it's like, okay, well then your mind is now locked in that. So where's the freedom to actually use your imagination to go create a company that makes an impact on the world? Go create the imagination to go figure out a better way to do things for the family and create value. Go create another way to ensure that it doesn't matter what goes on in the world, that you are cared for and people will be provided for. So for me, Angelo had to learn that. He had to learn how to be not linear. He had to learn not to be so stuck. He had to learn not to be so crass. He had to learn to be a lot more flexible. He had to learn to pivot. He had to learn to ensure he could take direction. And he had to learn discipline, so that when he had the discipline, then he can have more of those freedoms. But when he had no discipline, those freedoms tend to go and dissipate.
That's so true.
He didn't have discipline in how he talked. So before, Angelo, did you not used to curse like a sailor?
Yeah.
No control over this. So what happened?
What happened was I made a fool of myself. And it's like, it's really funny because, like, if I heard myself talk, or if someone was like videoing it, or I just saw how I was actually talking, I'd be like, wait, I sound like that? Like, like, who is that? And I'm not proud of what I said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good feeling.
But now who you are is very different to who you were, and who you are now has more freedoms than you did when you were younger, because now you understand how to utilize your energy to get more out of life. Now you know how to utilize your time to do more for others and create an impact. Now you know how to utilize certain words and words not to use in a relationship, right? Now you know how to better utilize maybe assets, funds, money, whatever, remuneration, right? Versus, you know what, I like this is shiny, how about we go get that? So maybe we start learning how to stop wasting all the things and the blessings that we have, so that we can continue the freedoms and continue to have greater blessings in the near future, if not the present, and maybe grow and grow and grow those little things or those little seeds, and then allow them to be nurtured and cultivated so that we can then harvest.
Absolutely. And that's a little bit of like what we're going to be covering tomorrow, because there is many things that I wasn't being like resourceful with. There's many things that were just like slipping through my hands, many areas in my life that I was attempting to change, but wasn't really finding the results with it. And I just felt incredibly stuck. So that's really like tomorrow, the premise of it is to really help you get positioned and ready for that. So you can make sure that you get more out of life. You bring more to life. You increase your value. Because I think that will really help separate you now. So I know we just have a little bit longer. We're gonna, Herman, let's do like a speed round. You want to do a speed round?
Yeah, we just have another call coming up, so.
So we'll do a speed round for 5 minutes, and we'll do as many questions we can in 5 minutes. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So Benny asked, any tips on balancing work, health, spiritual development, and love? I tend to be able to manage 2 to 3, but when trying to manage all, I tend to fall out of balance.
But that's more of a personal type thing. And let me explain. So only 2 out of 3. Okay, so maybe it's love and work. Okay, then maybe family suffers, or maybe it's family and work, but then maybe love suffers, or maybe it's money and family, but then something else suffers. In terms of real balance, I mean, I view it as, don't think of it as something that your mind will think as something as a materialistic object. So don't think of work as being, that's materialistic over here. Money is materialistic over here. Love is materialistic. Don't think of it in those terms, because that is where we tend to set ourselves up for a trap. What I like to think of it as, okay, well, you know what? This is work, but this is family. This is business. The reason why they're separated or segmented is because it requires something different from us. So for instance, in work, we're not giving work a massage. We're not giving work buying work roses so that it can feel good on its birthday. No, you don't do that. So what do? You go there to make sure that you are at your best, to make sure that you can maybe scale, grow, maybe get a bigger audience, maybe whatever that is to you. So that requires a different type of person, or for you to wear a different type of hat in that role. So when you can only do 2 out of the 3 maybe at a time, it could be because some of the other areas are taking too much of that space, that there's not enough to transition, number one. Second part, inflexibility, it can be, right? And that's why we do these on calls, because then we can go dive deeper and deeper per individual. And then third part, it could also be where maybe it's just too much. Maybe sometimes we put too much on us, and we view it as too much, like I'm saying, like materialistic thing on this ledge, something else on that ledge, something else over here. And we don't view it as, it's all the same, it's all part of the same thing. It's just requiring us to do different things, where we have to pivot from, okay, I'm at work, well, now I'm going to be in family. Okay, now I'm going to be in this, or now I'm going to be over here. You have to learn to be flexible, to pivot, and learn how to balance that while making sure that other areas can be nurtured, right? So that you don't feel like, okay, well, I just did work. Well, now the wife is calling me, so let me go do that. With that attitude, marriage is not going to last very long. Business may, because you give it all because you want more of the value, because you hold that as the highest value. But if your attitude is, well, now I got to go do this for the kids or go do that for the wife, you don't say that for work. You say, you know what? I have to be here at this time because this is when the boss says it. I got to do this. This is the first thing I got to do. And you go in the best attitude to ensure why. It's because you want to keep it. You want to make sure that you maybe grow in that. You want to make sure you get compensated more for that. But if we just go into it as, oh, well, yeah, wife says hi to this person, says hi to that person, you're going to go to the party tomorrow and you just want to socialize and the work is not the focus, what do you think the boss is going to say? What do you think the employer is going to say? What happens if you're always late on every deadline? What happens if you don't show up and make sure you're at your best and you're sleeping and taking naps at your desk and snacking and just going for water cooler every 5 seconds? Like, that's not going to show commitment. And so you can still say, okay, you know what? If I'm committed at the work and says, okay, I don't take any breaks because I want to make sure I'm at my best. I'm doing my very best to be on time. I make my deadlines. So then when you go home, you have to find that within yourself to say, you know what? Wife needs me to do this. Got it. We're going to do this. We're going to have date night. Got it. We're going to do this and maybe go away. Got it. So it's like just transitioning, but applying in different ways.
Absolutely. So we are going to finish out with this question. So this one is from, I hope I'm pronouncing this correct, but Zimba. There's a war going on in my family country and it's hard to cope with it. Do you have any advice, Herman?
What country, first off? I don't know what country that is. It Africa? Is it like where specifically is the country? And then second part, I mean, does anybody win in a war?
No, it's like an argument. Nobody wins really in an argument either.
And your life is at risk, right? So both sides' lives are at risk. People are treated as pawns. People are treated as basic nobodies. And so who wins at war, right? And then the people who are really winning are those that are providing the arms to both sides. That's who's winning, right? So in the old days, you know how you would settle a disagreement or a war? You don't go send all your people in like that. You would say, okay, mano y mano. Let's settle this way. But then most people don't have the backbone. They don't want to do that. They don't want to be seen as a bad person and they want to feel both sides. So there's always an underlying problem as to why a war would start. And for me, I just don't like that word because it's usually at someone else's expense. Someone's life is being used as just like a puppet here. And I don't like that. I like to know that people have a choice. I like to know that people are cared for. And that's why we're even doing this. And I like to know that people have the opportunity to live out their life to their fullest, not because somebody who's in charge of the country says you have to go do this, that you have to go do that. I mean, that's not necessarily right because you're doing it for their agenda.
Exactly. So thank you to everybody for showing up. We have some other things to get to, but we thank you for these moments that you shared with us. And we just want to let you know that if we didn't get to your question, if you need some extra support, just reach out and message us. And we have so many things to offer to you to help you with that support. We're here for you. We exist to make your life better. And for those joining the masterclass tomorrow, I cannot wait for you because it's going to be transformational. And if you would like to join us, it's not too late. I can post the link one last time. Check it out and we'll see you there.
But thank you to all of you. And, maybe we do more of these if you let me know. If you really like this, message me on Facebook, YouTube, text us, whatever it is, and just let us know. And maybe we'll find more time in the schedule to do more of these.
Absolutely. So I just posted the link one last time. So check that out. And we appreciate everybody, no matter where you're tuning in from, all over the world. And again, if you didn't get your question answered, then there you go. I'll leave it up there for 5 seconds. Write it down really quick. That's Herman's number where you can text him. And you need anything, let us know. It was fun being here live with you guys. And like Herman said, if you guys enjoy this, then we can definitely do it more often. So we just want to add some value to you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great evening or day wherever you're tuning in from, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.